3 bolts here with a 5mm Allen. There's one. Do the same to the rest of them. There we go. Now I'm going to take this engine cover from up top, just pry it up, it should pop right off. Set that aside. So for this bank here, it's a lot easier to replace, but for the rear, it's more difficult because we have to remove the intake. I'll show you both, but I'm going to start with this one here. Remove your 10mm bolt. Take that off, and you want to unplug the ignition coil. The clip for me is already broken, so it should just slide right off, but typically you would press it to unlock it, lift it up. For the spark plug, take your spark plug socket with a ratchet and just break it free. Remove it the rest of the way. There it is. Take your new spark plug, put it in your spark plug socket. That's why it's important to have a spark plug socket, because it actually grips onto the spark plug. It doesn't let it fall, so it doesn't get damaged. And I'm actually going to start it by hand to make sure it's not cross-threading.
2004.
Just bring it as far down as I can.
Highlander 3.3 liter.
Okay, now I'm going to snug it, then we'll torque it.
To the inconsiderate monster who has been stealing my pudding, I hope your conscience eats at you as you have eaten my pudding.
Okay, that's bottomed out. Let's get the torque wrench. Torque this to 18 foot-pounds. Perfect. Let's install the ignition coil. On the ignition coil, I like to put a little bit of dielectric grease. This is silicone paste, but this works as well. Basically, this is going to help the boot seal up against the spark plug, make a nice watertight seal, but also it's going to help it not stick over time. This rubber gets stuck to the spark plug, and when you go to pull it out to replace just the spark plugs, this sometimes breaks. So now with the silicone paste on there, press it down all the way. Get your bolt, start it in,
So that's how you do those.
obviously make sure it clicks. 4 14mm nuts, 2 on each side, all the other ones, then we'll move on to the rear. Next, if your vehicle has this strut brace, you're going to have to remove it so that the intake can come up and out of the way. 4 14mm nuts, 2 on each side. Take those out. There's 1. 2. Let's do the same to the other side. Now this is free to come up, so lift it off the studs. And this is attached to it. And I'm not going to remove it. I'm actually just going to take this and flip it over to the side like this. Leave it this way. I'm going to remove this bracket that holds all of this in place. 2 10mm nuts, 1 on each side. There it is. Okay, lift
So
this
this
up.
is where I'm at right
Now
now.
that this is free, I just want
So I
to move
decided
it
to
further,
record
so
this here, and
pop
then you all
this
can catch me
connector off here,
doing it.
remove this
work,
hose from
following this guy here
over there,
on this
and
Toyota Highlander.
this one
I
right
use
here.
all data software.
Now you can
company
get
owned
this
by
further out of your way. I'm just going to leave
AutoZone.
it right here. Next, I'm going to
However,
vacuum up this intake area
You
so
know,
that
it's
I
always
remove all
good to
this
see
debris that's there.
hands-on.
Now remove this hose from this assembly. So what I want to do is actually, I should explain, is I'm going to disconnect the throttle body off of this part of the intake. So I'm going to leave this on the intake. I think it'll be the most efficient to do it this way. And basically I just have to disconnect this hose and then the 4 bolts. All right, so this broke, and I'm going to have to
So everything that he's done so far, I didn't done it
peel it off
already.
of here.
I didn't remove those parts.
One way or another, this hose
So
has to
when
come off, and
you
the
get to the
clamp has to
area
be
where I
replaced.
must
So
continue, then I will
whatever I have to do
continue from that point.
to get this off. There we go. Once it's off, I'll worry about replacing the clamp. It'll be easier. with it disconnected. So, because this clamp is so weak, it's actually not even holding it on. I'm just gonna twist it and remove it. I'll worry about that for when I reinstall it. And at this point, with a 10 millimeter, I can unbolt the 4 bolts that hold the throttle body onto this part of the intake. So
this
4 bolts, one on each.
is where I'm at with it now. So I'm done with all those parts. So now I'm going to zoom in, adjust this gimbal. So let's see. Let's try to get a better angle. Okay. So here. So this is where I'm at with it right now. So I'm gonna listen to this guy. I never did the spark plugs on this Highlander. So I decided to record it. It's just so I can, post a video.
I'll remove those. To take these bolts out, I actually have to pull this part of the intake back a little bit so I have room for my socket. Someone, I guess, replaced the clamp with a wire tie, so I'm gonna have to cut it, and then I'll have to either put another clamp on or another wire tie. But I have to remove this, so I'm just gonna cut it out of the way here. Now, you can take this, wiggle it, and just pull it straight back. You don't have to remove it, you just have to pop it off like that. Now you can fit your socket in here and remove the 4 10 millimeter bolts that hold this throttle body.
All right, so I think there might be a 10. Let me see. See if it's 10. Yep. It's already loose. Need a good screwdriver. Well, actually, it could just move it around. Those look like 12, maybe. I don't know for sure. Let's see what it is. It's not a 10. It's probably 12. Right here. So, let's see. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna have to move this back a little bit. All right. Why just to take the whole thing off? I don't get that. Let's go back and see what he's talking about. Cause it looked like you just, if you're gonna pull off that part, pull off.
Now, right behind the throttle body, there's that bolt of it. You just have to pop it off like that. So I'm just gonna cut it out of the way here. Now, you can take this, wiggle it, and just pull it straight back. You don't have to remove it. You just have to
I
pop it
see.
off
I
like
see
that.
what it is.
And you can fit your socket in here and remove the four 10mm bolts that hold
Cause
this
it's
throttle
still,
body on.
it's still,
Now, right behind the throttle body, there's that bolt right there. That's a 12.
it's still a bunch of stuff connected here, so it makes sense to pull it off there. Let's see. Maybe pull it all the way off. Just pull it all the way off. Make it easier for me. All right. This is. All right, so let me see. I got one of them knuckles because of the area. Let's see if we can put that knuckle on now. Okay, so this is definitely not a 12, so it must be a 10. Let's see. Since I moved it, yeah, that's a 10. So I don't need the knuckle because the 10 socket is smaller. But I do need something. Let me see. I have to grab a smaller ratchet. Yeah. Grab a smaller one. This smaller one. This is a 1/4 inch. It'll fit in there a lot easier. Or maybe not. Move it all the way off. Okay, there we go. This side. Gotta do a lot to do these Toyota Highlanders. Just to do the spark plug. This one must be broke or something. Alright, let's get a little one. Let's see. Got an even smaller one. This one is even smaller. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one right here, perfect. Get to those little tight spots. And you got this one down here. Yeah, this is a little tight spot here. that bitty one definitely these little spots like this. See if I can twist it. Fingers. I think it went the other way. Alright, so I got it loose. Let's see if there's one more on this side. I can't even see. It looks like it's one in there. Alright, so let's go back to the video so we can make sure how many bolts we gotta take out of there.
Meter. That's gonna. Now you can fit your socket in here and remove the 4 10mm bolts that hold this
so
throttle
it's
body on.
4.
Now, right behind the throttle body, there's that bolt right there. That's a 12mm. That's gonna have to get loosened up and removed.
Let's go back real quick.
And just pull it straight back. You don't have to remove it. Like that. Now you can fit your socket in here and remove the 4 10mm bolts that hold this throttle body on. Now, right behind the throttle body, there's that bolt right there. That's a 12mm. That's gonna have to get loosened up and removed.
Alright, so he says 4, then that one. So these right here are all loose. Let's see how long the bolt is. Might be a bit long, I don't know. Right there. It's not real long, both ain't that long. See that one there? Then we got this one here. Yeah, they're the same size, that's a good thing. And we got this one down here. I think the other one is on the other side. I was just looking at it. Yeah, if you're gonna use YouTube to assist you with your growth, then I'm letting you know. You know, let it be something that's truly beneficial. Something that's gonna help you get paid, and at the same time, you know, you're gonna learn something, and you can teach somebody something. You know. All right, so we got that one out, got that one out. So this must be the other one right here. Alright, so that one is kind of tight. So what I'm gonna do is take this off of here, put it on the bigger one. Find out what I did with it. Okay, there you go. So I'm gonna take that off of there. I'm gonna try to use this bigger one here. Give me a little more leverage. Okay, there you go. See. Definitely helped. Now I can take it back off of there. Back on the little one. This is actually loose. think I should be able to move it back up a little bit. Move it over. Yeah. Okay. Got my ratchet. I think I may be able to unscrew my fingers. Okay, I'm gonna need it. The little extension. So I got this extension. So what I'm gonna do is it's like a little extension on a 10mm socket. So when I put it in there, I have to turn it because it's not enough room to drop it. Okay, so now I gotta get my magnet to get it out. Got a magnet, so I can stick down in there, because I dropped it. So it's always good to have a magnet. So if you drop something, you're able to get it out of there. Alright, so let's go back here. It's all the way out. Let me take my fingers and pull it. And then all the way out. Put that shit back on there. Okay, bam. Got all 4 of them out right there. So now, take a look. Let's see. What's going on? I wonder why I just didn't pull those out. And I pull these out. I don't get that part. Because if I'd have pulled this out, then all of this still would have been connected. And the only thing I had to pull away was this here. But I just took these out. I don't know. See, one thing that I'm learning about YouTube, when it comes to, learning, you got some people that do it in a way that's a little bit more difficult because it's the way that they prove why they're charging so much.
Set it aside safely.
They're charging this amount of money.
Hook here. If you follow
you
it
see
down,
all this stuff we had to do. This is why we charge you $500 to do your spark plug.
Use a wrench and just loosen it up.
So I'm trying to
Get
see
some
now.
leverage. If you try and fit a socket and ratchet in here, that's actually just gonna bottom out the back here. So don't get your tool stuck in there. And
I'm
now
saying
that it's
this
broken free, I'm
here,
going to
it
switch to a
seemed like
ratcheting wrench
I
so I
didn't
can
have
get
to
that
do
out
that.
faster.
It looked like if I was going to pull anything apart, I should have pulled this here off and left everything else connected. Because it looked like he pulled both of them off. Let me see. I don't know. Let's go back. I done messed up somewhere. Okay, here we go.
I'm saving up to buy a house, so I want to avoid big medical bills.
Let's go back.
Actually, not even holding it on. I'm just going to twist it and remove it. I'll worry about that. Set it aside safely. You'll see this hook here. If you follow it down, you'll feel a 14mm bolt.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back into YouTube and find another video. I can always go back. 2004 Toyota Highlander spark plug replacement. So this video right here, let's see what somebody else says. 2004. Okay, here go a different video. Somebody else doing it. So this is what I like to do. I like to figure out, oh, he didn't already take everything apart. So we definitely don't want to watch his video, because he didn't even explain it. So let's go back. This is a full tutorial V6 Toyota Highlander. Let's look at his video.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan from 2Car Pros, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to replace the spark plugs in a 2002 V6 Toyota Highlander. This is a fairly difficult repair as far as spark plug removal and replacement goes. This is something I would definitely advise to watch a video like this one first before you get started. Now, with this video, I have made another video about cleaning the throttle body housing, which you have to take off in order to do this repair. So you're gonna go watch that video up here. Actually, it's up here in the card and link down below in the description, because if I upload the same footage twice, YouTube gets mad with me. So go watch that video to the part where you remove the throttle body housing, and if you're doing this repair, you might as well give the throttle body housing a nice cleaning, so that video is going to benefit you as well. Then you're going to come back and watch the rest of this video where we actually do the spark plug repair, and then go back to the other video and watch how to put the throttle body housing back together. I know it's a little bit convoluted, but again, if I upload the same clips twice, YouTube gets cross with me, which is understandable. You don't want the same content twice. Now, the other thing I will say is, if you're watching this video because you're getting the repair done, here is an important tip for you. Make sure they show you all 6 plugs when you get them replaced, because on the vehicle I did, the front 3 plugs have been replaced, but the back 3 plugs, the hard ones, were stock. So the front 3, I believe, were NGK. Actually, I think the back 3 were NGK, but the front 3 were Bosch or something. They didn't match, which means somebody at some point did the front 3 and not the back 3, and maybe they paid for all 6. So that is something you need to check for as a consumer. Make sure you get them to show you all 6 plugs.
If you've been injured in a car accident,
So I'm just looking at another video.
Use this AI app instead.
I mean, you know, I could have been took it apart, but I'm just trying to figure out a simple way to take it apart.
Remove this plastic cover plate here. You need a size 5 Allen, and you need to remove them. I'm actually just going to let them kind of sit in the housing here, and
So
they'll come out when
this
I remove the
engine is
plastic
kind
housing.
of different.
Your fingers. The other half is going to be really difficult, so we're going to do the easy ones first.
So the easy ones are the ones that are on the
Push down
front.
like that.
That's
Come on.
these 3 right here. You can't see those 3.
Just like
Okay.
that, and these 3 ignition coil bolts are 10 millimeters.
Hey, I can't even see it on there. Let me see. All right, here. So these 3 here spark plugs.
Before we go any further, we're
1,
gonna
2,
grab some
3.
compressed air.
They're
probably just
easy
use
to
a
get
rag
to.
too, but I'm lazy, so we're
But
gonna use
then those
compressed
in the
air.
back
And
there,
we're just gonna blow the
a
top
little
of the
bit
valve
more.
cover here, just to make sure when we remove the spark plugs, no debris falls down into the engine.
Alright, so what we're gonna do, you see he's blowing it. So I guess I could blow it too. Let me go ahead and what they be talking this bullshit. Anyway, so I'm gonna get my compressor. Unravel it. It's definitely gravel. But I don't make a difference. It'll be so bad. That's the main thing. Because my compressor wasn't running, I had to turn it on so it build up air. And as it build up air, I'll be able to turn it around so you all can see what I got going on. It's a small compressor, so and I took it on the old 6 gallons. So as I'm spraying, the air is coming out. So obviously, you want to give me a bigger compressor, or at least one that holds more air. like 50 gallon or something like that, 40 gallon, 100 gallon, I don't know. Because they have to keep pumping up air in order for me to keep using it. So I'm gonna let it keep going until there's no more air in there. Running out of air now because the tank only holds 6 gallons of air, so the air is running low. Now y'all can really see it. You can have it around. So I'm going to clean this engine bay out. This car I'm going to sell. So here it is. Let's go back to the video and see what he's saying.
There we go. It's much cleaner. And then we can remove our ignition coils.
So we don't care about the first three because the first three are easy. We want to go to the back, see
Interesting
what he do.
situation where my spark plug socket lit.
We want to see what he do on the back end.
Phone call from the boss? Sorry. Outdoor
I'm
time.
gonna take those four
Sticking it to
screws
the
out.
boss. That sounds fun. We have sort of a flat hierarchy, so.
Wait, Flo isn't the boss?
Well, you could say I'm a boss at helping people save when they.
Has a T on the new one, but they're the same. C's clean in there. Install the boot here.
So I'm just allowing you all to understand
And I'm gonna put some
part of the
electric
process
grease
of
down
me
in there. And don't
learning
worry
how to
too
work
much
on
about,
cars.
like, pushing it down in
Now
there
go to
because when you
YouTube,
install the,
watch some of these
coil, it's gonna be
videos. You may
smushed
hear
down on
mechanics
anyway,
talking about,
so it's really not that big a deal.
you know, all the
So,
YouTube
do
mechanics.
that for all
See,
three
those are the
spark plugs
people
and ignition
that want to
coils
make
before you
themselves
install
seem
them.
like
So the
they
next thing we're
better
gonna do is load
or
up our
more
spark plug
experienced
into our spark plug
or
socket.
more,
Make sure it's not gonna
you
fall
know,
out. If it's not,
more in
we can
tune
drop
with
it
what's
down
going
into the
on.
spark plug well,
But the
making sure that
reality
we
is,
don't,
if you be
jam the sides
attentive,
or
pay
touch the
attention
strap. And we're
to
gonna
what's
put this
taking
in by
place,
hand
you can
so
do
we
this as
feel
well.
if it is cross-threading or not.
I've been working on cars now
Yeah,
about
I
a
can tell you
year.
right now it's not. It's totally fine.
And I didn't know anything about working on cars. I never thought I'd be working on cars.
Finger tight, you know.
And look at me
There's a
now.
good chance it's
I'm working on
cross-threaded,
cars.
so you need to back it out
I
and
work on a lot of
retry.
cars. I
So
worked
obviously
on
you don't wanna
Mercedes.
cross-thread a spark
I
plug.
was messing with a
Next thing
Tesla.
you're gonna do is grab
Actually, on the
our
Tesla, I think all I
torque wrench here.
did was
If you don't
just
have a
change the
torque wrench,
tire.
that's okay. You just do medium tight.
I worked
The
on
torque
Porsche,
specification is 14 foot-pounds, so it's
BMWs,
not very tight.
Jaguars, Audis, 350s, 250s,
There we
150.
go, and we can do the other two.
You know, I worked on a lot of vehicles. And a lot of the help that I received came from the men and women on YouTube that helped me. You know, in many cases, they don't show everything. They don't show everything on YouTube. You know, they get to cutting it up like this video here. I've been recording now for 39 minutes, 40 minutes. You know, so
Just like that.
a lot of times they cut the video up. So you don't see the hard part. You see the easy part that they're doing. But then you got some mechanics that will show you step by step everything.
Plugs are even a little bit harder to get
So,
to than they would be if the
Now
engine was, I don't
he's
know, maybe
talking
if you're-
about the back one.
So,
So I want to get an idea of what he's saying about the back one.
And we got to take the intake manifold off. Now I can remove this vacuum line off this plenum here. Just pull straight off. Just be careful. You don't want to shred the line. The next thing we're going to do because it's in our way, but we don't actually have to remove it out of the vehicle. I'm going to leave everything connected. Is this rail here? Looks like a vacuum
that's this
control
rail right here.
This looks like a
It's
ton of
disconnected
vacuum lines
already.
going to it, and it's held on
Because
with
you
two
wanna
10mm
you
nuts on
wanna
the end
take
of both
these
my
here
pointer
out
fingers
of
here.
there. These both gotta
But it
come
looks
up
like
out
you're
of
getting
there.
a deep well or
In
a
order
wrench.
to
Maybe
get
you need a
this
wrench
up.
on that. I don't know. Deep wells
But
could
I'm,
be your
I'm
friend
trying
here.
to figure out if there are easier ways. So I'll be watching different videos, just to see easier ways. So next time somebody wanted me to do that Toyota Highlander, I know a quicker way to do it.
So now we can kind of move this out of the way. We can even just flip it over just like
And
that.
if I
What's
could
wrong
do it
there?
faster,
14
I could
nuts
charge
right
you
here.
less.
So close though.
But these mechanics, a lot of mechanics I should say, they want you to think that it takes 4 or 5 hours to do the job.
The next thing we're going to do
Where
is grab some
over
compressed air.
doing trial and error, you figure
and
out
pull
that
around
you
where
can do
the
it in an
intake
hour,
manifold
hour and a
attaches to
half, but
the
they
top
still
of
gonna
the
charge you
engine.
for that 4 or 5 hours. So
This is to prevent any gunk getting in there.
you got a son, you got a daughter, you got somebody that's
Grab a size 8
can
Allen.
use their hands and their eyes
These two Allen-headed
and
bolts.
learn.
And you're really going to need
They could do
a
this.
socket for this. You
Whatever
can't
car,
get away
any
with
car.
using an Allen wrench. They're on pretty tight.
Take a little time to get
And
used to
they're
it,
decent
but
sized bolts too. These aren't
just
just
be
little
mindful
ones.
that you can definitely
And we can remove
change
all
out
those, set those aside. Okay, so here's where
whatever
we're at,
part
team.
needed to be changed out for sure.
There is basically nothing holding the intake manifold into the car except for, if you see back here, there's like this random black bar that's totally not needed. There's a bolt that holds something in back here. It holds in the intake manifold with, I believe, a 12mm bolt, and there's a little berm around this metal piece here, so there's
So this
absolutely
bolt
no
right
way to
here
get just a regular wrench on it. It
is the
has
bolt
to be a
that's holding
socket.
it in place. I
And I'm
feel
not
that
100%
bolt.
sure how I'm going to get that out of there. If I'm
It might be
leveling
one on
with you
the other
guys,
side, but I
that's
feel
going to
that
be a
one.
challenge. This is why I refuse to talk to automotive engineers at parties. Right here. This is why.
Let me see if this one on this side.
And for added difficulty, this tube here basically forces you to open
Oh,
your
this
hand every
side, the
time
bolt
you
ain't even on there. They
bring
done
it
already
back.
took this
So,
one out and then put it back.
added difficulty. This is going to take me a while. So once I'm
So
done,
I'll put another one
I'll
in
let
there
you know
when
how I
I
did
put it
it.
back together.
It's going to involve many curse words. I can already feel it. Okay, so
That was the
on
bolt
this
that I was supposed to take
mount
out, but
here,
it's already
whatever the
out.
heck you want to call it, it was actually a 14mm bolt. I thought it was 12. I thought it was 12 because everything behind the engine so far, or behind the intake manifold, has been 12. It's not. It's 14 for some unknown reason. That is just so ridiculous. But with that bolt out of our way, we can finally remove the intake manifold. Oh, and there was a ground here that was on the intake backside of the intake manifold, and that was a 10mm. And then, like I said, this is the
So it looks like this guy
behind the
here.
engine so far, or behind the intake manifold, has did it.
See, he cut the video up too because as I'm looking at it,
There's absolutely
it's a lot of stuff
do is
that he didn't take apart. He went straight to
ton of
removing
vacuum
these
lines
bolts
going to
here.
it, and it's
He didn't
held
show us
to
taking that
10mm
part
nuts
on
on
their
the end of both
part.
my pointer fingers here. But it looks
So you got to be mindful. Don't get frustrated
shred the line.
because
The next thing we're gonna
definitely
do,
you watch a lot of these
because it's in our
videos.
way,
They're not
we
going to
don't
show
actually
you.
have to remove it out of
Most
the
of
vehicle.
them
It'll
isn't
leave
going to
everything
show you
connected.
step by
There's this rail
step.
here, looks like a vacuum
You know,
control rail. Just looks like a ton of vacuum lines going to it. And it's
however,
along with two
Let's go here. Let me show y'all something real quick. So I'm gonna get behind the camera and let's focus out so it won't be so close. All right, so what I'm gonna do is get out of here. Well, let's go back there. We're gonna go here. This here is all data. So here we're gonna remove the manifold. I already got it in the system, as you can see. Let's go a little bit closer. It says 2004 Toyota truck Highlander, 4-wheel drive, 3.3 liter engine, V6, right? Removing replacement. So here, I'm gonna type in manifold. This is gonna give you step by step on how to remove So we're gonna go with intake manifold. Let's see. We want to remove it. So let's see if I can figure out. So it's just letting you know the torque's there. So let's go back out of here. Wait, not out of there. Let's go here and click here. So exhaust manifold, intake manifold. Okay, so we're gonna go with service and repairs. So if you can see that, it say the procedures. So we're gonna click on that. Now, on here, it's showing you a bunch of different stuff. So I don't know if this is the right one. Let's see, service and repair, fuel system, emission control, drain coolant. See, I'm just learning. Like I said, I've been working on cars about a year. The software I've been using probably a few months now, a couple months. So I don't know everything about the software. So let's go back here. We want to go with procedure, exhaust pipe. We don't want to do that. NOx sensor. Oh, that was a NOx sensor, so not that one. Parts and labor. So even on here, I don't see cylinder head replacement. We ain't doing that. So I don't know. Let me see. Let's go back real quick, right? What we're gonna do is let's go back here to this video.
That out just like that, and we can remove the spark
And
plugs.
then we're
And we
going
can do that
to
spark plug.
let's go back up a little bit.
The spark plug well. We're down into the spark plug well. Make best judgment. So it's a small 10 mil. Plug this. The engine was flat. It's not. It's pitched backward.
Okay, let's go back a little
Toward the
bit.
fire. So we've done the easy 3. Now we need to get to the hard 3. And as you may have noticed, this V6 design is actually rocked backward toward the firewall. So the plugs are even a little bit harder to get to than they would be if the engine was flat. It's not. It's pitched backward. You might be able to get back there and try to get the ignition coils and spark plugs. I don't know. Maybe if you're like...
Actually, I did a spark plug replacement on the vehicle. I don't remember which one it was,
Dry eyes
but
still
I
feel
didn't
pretty
remove it. But
rough
this one here, my
or
hands won't
tired.
sit back there.
With Mybo, I
So I have to remove this
Gumby.
one.
But I'm not Gumby. I'm a regular person, so we got to take the intake manifold off. And I've already taken
So
the
let's,
throttle body housing, and it's a
so he already took the throttle body housing and all that stuff off, right? Let's go back to the software. So we're looking at, now this is all data. I think I might end up getting a different software. So here it is. We're looking for the replacement. We're looking for service and repair for the manifold. Let's just click on, let's type in intake here. Wait, you all can't see it, I don't think. Intake manifold. All right, so parts and labor, NOx sensor, engine. Okay, let's click on that one and see what it is. It says part 3. So see, it's not actually, it's showing us what's what. You know, this is what this is what that is. So it show you all that. But I'm trying to see the procedure. And this is the thing I have about dealing with this all data. You know, as you all can see right now, I'm on all data, trying to figure out how to remove the intake manifold. Now I could contact all data and they could help me out, but I'm talking about why is it that when I go to service and repairs for the intake manifold, it's showing me intake manifold, but that's the parts and labor, intake manifold gasket. So here where it says service and repairs, now keep in mind, it's for the intake manifold. It's saying knock sensor, fuel injector, cylinder head assembly. We don't need that. We just want to replace take the intake manifold off. So, we just want to take this off. But it's not so simple on that all data. And I knew that. That's why I went to YouTube to try to get some ideas on how to do it. But I guess I'm going to do it the way they're saying do it. Because so far, I'm not seeing an easier way to do it. So let me go back real quick and try to find another. Okay, here go another one here. So let's see what they say on this one.
So I can just ask you anything?
Anything you like.
Hot yoga or regular yoga?
Hot.
Why?
Hot yoga is...
And I can interrupt you?
Sure.
Can you explain my career to me in haiku?
Huge star on the rise, shining bright in every role.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Complaint Corner. Today we're changing spark plugs on a 2004 Toyota Highlander with the 3.3 V6. Excellent vehicle. We bought it new in 2004 and never had any issues on it. I've done all the maintenance on it myself, which is fortunate that I know how to do that because otherwise it would have cost a ton of money, including changing the spark plugs. Now I'll show you why. 3 of them, easy. 1, fairly easy. Another one, pain in the butt. 6th one, next to impossible. I don't know what you're doing. So, reason for the video. Anyway, you're going to start off, hopefully you can see everything. You're going to start off by getting your star head wrench and removing.
Okay, we get all that. We want to see the back side.
Latches on the opposite corner over there. Undo the first 4. Now, down to the last one. To save time and make this a slightly shorter video, decided to get everything ready to go so I can just quickly go through and show you what's involved with it. First thing, you're going to remove your air cleaner assembly intake here. Basically, you just have latches on the opposite corner over there. Undo those. Then you're going to loosen up your clamp so you can go ahead and pull this off. And out of the way, you're going to unplug your sensor, set that off to the side, and you can just go ahead and move that out of your way. All right, next, and yes, I know this sounds extreme, but trust me, you're going to have to do it. All right?
So here's a video here where this guy makes it seem a little bit more simpler than the other guy.
Over there.
So the other 2 guys didn't explain this here.
Yeah, it's a little tight, but you can get in there and do it. No big deal. Center rear. Yeah, you're going to be working blind. You're going to scrape up your knuckles a little bit. Going to get frustrated and curse a lot.
In other words, take this part here off.
It takes the same amount of time to replace that one plug as the time you spent doing the first 4. Now,
and so this part here,
to save time and make this
see, he's saying take this part off So that'll get out of the way, make it easier to get over in there. So how the other guy was talking about pull this back like I was pulling it back trying to get up in there. That's a little bit more harder. That's why I just try to get a bigger wrench to try to break it and all this and that. But if I would have took this here on off in the first place, so, wait a moment. So if I'd have took this off in the first place, let me see. So they got a zip tie on there, so I gotta get my knife and cut that off. So here, I went and got my knife, and I got a lot of tools in here, but in my vehicle, I have a lot of tools in there as well. So I'm gonna cut this off. Oh shit, I didn't have to cut it off. It just slid right on off. So now let's see what we're doing here. So here, you gotta disconnect. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see. Wait, let's turn this light this way. Is it better or is it too? Anyway, turn it back that way. You can't see it from there. I have to move the camera. But I have to disconnect. Let's see if you can see that now. See that wire? Wait. All right, let's go over this side here. So this wire right here, I had to disconnect from here. So now I can move it over as you can see. See, a whole lot easier. Now, wait, let's see. Let's move it right here. So the throttle body area is up in here. So the screws that I took out, one was right here, one was right here, one was down there, one was right here. So if I'd have took this on off in the beginning, unlike them other two guys were saying, that you gotta, well, one guy didn't really explain it at all. But the first guy I watched, he was like, just move it back a little bit and get up in there. But this guy that I'm watching now, you know, he ain't, you know, he explaining it, but he's not giving you the full demonstration of taking it apart. But he said, take this here off. I gotta get a new filter. This filter right here is filthy. As you can see, it's really dirty. So this car I'm selling. So there's nothing really wrong with this car. You know, oxygen sensors, full tune-up, spark plugs, oil change, flush the fluids, cooling temperature sensor. You know, there's nothing really wrong with this vehicle. But I need to get a new filter. See, throw that down there. So now, let's see what we can do. We should be able to move this here. See? I don't know, can you see that? So this here, move it out of the way. So that's cool. Now, it looks like we're gonna have to remove these bolts here. But with this here out of the way, with this out of the way, it's easier to get to it. See, this is, I mean, an idea behind making this video is to just give you an idea of what I'm learning about cars, you know, because I would have, you know, immediately I'm familiar with it, you know, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it right because it's the first time I'm doing this vehicle. But as I'm seeing, it's like, okay, I got to take this off, got to take that off to get to this, to get to that. Okay, no problem. The videos that you're seeing me watching, some videos don't explain much. Others explain enough to get you started. Then you got to go to another video, watch another video. You know, and the more you do it, the more you will recognize what it's going to take. So I'm going to stop now. Recording has been 1 hour. And I'm going to post this here. You all didn't see me actually doing the work, but you're seeing me in the learning process trying to figure it out. This is what it takes to fix a car. Don't let them people say, talk about, oh, YouTube mechanics, this and that, this and that. The objective is to get the work done. That's the bottom line. Get it done. You know, Malcolm X said, by any means necessary, right? Get it done. If you got to watch 20 videos, and I have, in many cases, watched a lot of videos to try to understand it. And I got the software 2 or 3 months ago, and it helps me. It don't help me all the time, but it definitely helped me. But just know this, working on cars, it's a great thing. You know, it's a great thing. It's a good opportunity for those that, you know, that come from the bottom, or those that just want to switch their careers, get into something else. If you're trying to make more money, you know, definitely fixing cars would get you there. You know, definitely get you there. You know, you got some people that make $400, $500, $600 a week. You know, I done made $1,500 in a day. You understand? Dealing with these cars. So, you know, just say on average, you're doing, you know, $2,000, $3,000 a week. If you're doing $2,000, $3,000 a week, you know, you may only be putting in less than 40 hours a week compared to that 40, 50, 60 hours you're putting in on that temp job or working for some company making $20, $30 an hour, and you putting in all them hours and your check ain't nothing but $700, $800 in a week. You can make $2, $3 grand, you know, for sure. And that also depends on the area of the cities that you're in. If you don't have a lot of people in your city, you know, that you may not be able to make that type of money. You know, and then if you're not doing engine repair, you know, opening the engine up, doing the head gaskets or the transmission, stuff like that, you may not make that type of money. But if you're in a city like you know, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Los Angeles, you know, Denver, you're in a city where there's a lot of people at and the cars are plentiful. You know, you're a stand-up person, you know, you're not trying to beat people out their money. You're being honest with the people, you know. I worked with one guy, you know, he was encouraging me, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. It was about the timing chain. You know, I took that car apart 3 times trying to fix the timing chain. I couldn't figure it out. You know, I'm sure if I'd have did it from scratch, you know, I could have done it. But that owner, he didn't want to do it all from scratch. You know, he just wanted me to set the timing chain. I didn't know nothing about it, but he cheered me on, saying I could do it. But, you know, that was trial and error. After 3 times of taking that car apart, putting it back together, I said, I don't want to deal with timing chain unless it's my own vehicle. You know, because you could get wrapped up in doing something that will prolong you from getting something else done, something that you could do with no problem, because you're trying to figure out how to do this, you know. But you gotta look at the Lord and say, thank you for giving you the opportunity to at least try and try and try. But then you also gotta thank God that He gave you enough strength to believe in yourself and say, I'm not gonna continue to go this route. You know, I'm gonna do this, but I'm not gonna do that right now. I try to do that on my own time, you know? So, I hope you all understand what I'm saying. I'm gonna post this video. It's just something that I'm learning and I wanna share with you. So, you got a car, you got a brother, sister, mother, uncle, auntie, whoever that got a vehicle, they need an alternator replaced. You know, they may be charging $200, $300, $400, $500 to do that. You know, I tell you this, tell them that you could do it. You could do that alternator, you could do them brakes, you could do that oil chain, you could do that water pump. You know, for me, I did the water pump on that vehicle I was speaking about with a timing chain, because the timing chain controlled the water pump. So I put the water pump in, but I didn't set the timing chain, you know, I didn't do that right. So if it's just a part on, part off, you could definitely do it. Take a door off, take a hood off, take the windshield out, you know, stuff like that. You can do it. Take that radiator out, you know, that condenser out. Take that. If you're just starting out on cars, you could pretty much do anything when it comes to these cars. I would advise you, if you're just starting out and you want to get it going, you know, make some things happen for yourself. Don't try to open up the engine right away. Don't mess with that transmission right away. It's a whole lot of other parts that need to be done on a regular basis. Alternators, water pumps, power steering pumps, pulleys, radiators, lights, brakes, you know, oil changes, flush of the fluids, you know. It's a lot of different things that you can do and learn and get better at before you dive in and say, I'm gonna change this engine or I'm gonna change this transmission. It's a whole lot of stuff you can do. You know, buy you a little trap car, you know, a hoopty, and what I would say, do the work on it. Find you a little piece of garbage, you know, $200-$300, $400, $500, something like that. Well, the engine isn't that bad. You know, the engine isn't bad. The transmission isn't bad. They may say, oh, it need a radiator, it need a water pump, it need spark plugs, it need new brakes, it need a whole lot of stuff that's outside of the engine, outside of the transmission need to be fixed. You know, and get that vehicle and go to work on it. You know, do your trial and error on that vehicle. The more you focus on becoming better at whatever you do, whether it's working on cars, being a school teacher, you know, a drug counselor, whatever it is, the more you focus on becoming better at it, you're going to get better at it, you know. But the best way to get better at something is to know your limits. You know, you got to know your limits. They say, ain't no limit, ain't no limit, ain't no limit. Well, it's only that perspective when you're going in through trial and error. But once you've done it 3, 4, 5 times, you got to know what you're not going to continue to do. You got to know this. So don't put a limit on yourself in the very beginning. I just said, if you just started, don't try to take the transmission apart. Don't try to take the engine out, you know. Don't look at that as a limitation on yourself, because it's a whole lot of more stuff that you could be doing, a lot more you could be doing when it comes to cars, when it comes to any damn thing. You know, creating t-shirts, creating a clothing line. You know, you got to go through it. Something that's kind of difficult. You know, you did it over and over again. You say, well, you know, well, I'm going to hire somebody else to do this. Or I'm just going to continue to go this route and get better over here. And then as I'm getting better, then I go back over there. You know, so it's all up to you. I'm trying and I'm getting better. You try and you can get better. So I'm going to leave it on that note, y'all.